killing Nailsin news. News. Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing Nailsin news? News.
There you go. Yay, it's me. I'm Douglas. See, it says it on the name tag, Douglas Nailsin. It's clearly me. It's not a fake. So I'm going to burn through these news stories. I got a big day ahead of me. Oh, God. But enough about me. How are you doing? You can comment down below. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to burn through these stories. And then we'll have a little chit-chat afterwards. Nodex says, hit the like button as usual. Thank you. Joe Lamont says, hail Joe Lamont. And Joe Lamont says, Doug, this is perfect. Couldn't quite sleep. Some weird stories will do the trick. Oh, boy. Well, they're always weird. These people, you know. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, wait. Make sure everyone can hear me. All right. Yes, they can. Good. All right. Because, again, it's telling me the mic's not working. Why do you lie to me like that? Why? You just like to mess with me. That's what you like to do. All right. So here we go. We'll start off with this lovely father-daughter story. It's heartbreaking, of course, but just messed up enough to make it on Nailsin News. News. You know. Disgraced anchor, or ex-anchor rather. I apologize. See, I always apologize for my mistakes. Disgraced ex-anchor arrested for fourth time in 5 years. So I guess 1 year he took it off for his crimes. For allegedly assaulting weed addict daughter. And by weed, I suspect they mean marijuana. An axed California news anchor who has been in the limelight for his bizarre drunken rampages added a fourth arrest to his tally after he allegedly assaulted his daughter during a physical fight over money. It always comes to money. Frank Somerville, who seems to be spending almost as much time behind bars as he did in front of the camera at KTVU TV, was busted again. The arrest broke his 2-year record of staying out of trouble. All right, well, wait, they said it's been 5 years, but he managed to stay out of trouble for 2 years. Well, maybe it was just a small infraction in one of the years, but anyway, and he says he's now sober, so he doesn't have being drunk excuse. The Oakland Police Department told San Francisco Gate that it is investigating a reported assault that took place just before 5:45 p.m. Monday, but the officials didn't name any of the people involved. However, Somerville, 67, took to social media to tell his side of the story and to blame his daughter. He claimed his daughter is a full-blown weed addict who came to his home in withdrawal and was haggling for money. He wrote on Facebook. Whoa, boy, sometimes when you point the ketchup bottle the wrong way, he's probably, just how physical did this get? Somerville claimed he told her to leave, but then they got into a physical fight as he tried to tell her to calm down. Once his daughter fled the residence, Somerville called his ex-wife, who frantically asked him to come to her house because she was scared that their daughter was going to try to hurt her too. When Somerville arrived at his ex's house, though, police were there waiting for him. Oh, Jane. After his daughter apparently reported their fight, Somerville claimed his daughter told the cops she didn't want to press charges. Okay. I love my daughter more than anything in the world. I would never deliberately try to hurt her. But bad things happen in battle. I can only hope my daughter gets treatment. From the fight? Or you mean from the addiction, I guess. He added that he's reached 9 months of sobriety and was completely sober at the time of the alleged assault. Well, yes, if you're 9 months sober, I would assume you would be sober, at the end of the 9 months. Unless you just suddenly fell off the wagon and then here shows up the daughter, Because again, he can't use the excuse, hell, I don't know what happened. I was drunk. Somerville was quickly released on bail. So there's Daddy and his girl. And apparently she really likes the weed and needed money. Daddy, I'm not paying you one more dime. And then they got in a fight. The disgraced news anchor had a rocky few years as he continuously fell into trouble with the law while struggling with alcoholism. In 2021, Somerville was trashed, per his own admission, on air 2 years later when he plowed into another driver while on a taco run. Around the same time, he appeared live on a news broadcast, slurring his words, but blamed the snafu on Ambien pills he took by mistake. I wonder if Ambien was a sponsor, Yeah. Then in June 2023, he was arrested twice in one night while on an alleged out-of-control bender. The first arrest stemmed from a fight in which he pummeled his brother. They always keep it in the family, And the second when he was found sitting in his car while clearly intoxicated. Well, at least he kept his clothes on, He said his spiral was spurred by ongoing divorce proceedings with his now ex-wife, who filed to dissolve their marriage just 1 week after his first arrest in 2021. Yeah, you see, she didn't like the embarrassment, Meanwhile, his daughter's a pothead, apparently, allegedly. And, woof. So, man, times are tough for Anchorman, huh? Because ironically, he just can't seem to drop anchor on his life from all the troubles. If only he could find calm waters within which, to drop anchor, blah, 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 whatever. Best of luck to you, Somerville. Hopefully everything works out. And maybe even in time for Father's Day next year. There you go. There you go. Good luck on that, you know? But gee, what a sad story, isn't it? What a sad story. Um, all right. Now for something way, way, way worse than that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Pretty bad. Foster dad on cruise with pregnant wife and 8 kids busted with child porn on his phone. He couldn't even take a break for the vacation. You know, a Tennessee dad who has fostered at least 20 children because, you know, he loves children, was busted with child pornography as he got off a cruise with his pregnant wife and 8 children. Jason Allen Miller, 48, was arrested at Port Miami on September 13th after being picked for a random secondary screening. It can happen. It can happen at the end of a Carnival cruise to the Cayman Islands. During the search, he willingly gave immigration agents the passcode to his Samsung Galaxy, on which they found several photos of suspected child abuse hidden in a folder in the Google Photos app, according to an affidavit. Yeah, there he is. He's like, oh, damn it, I forgot that was in there. Oh, damn it. They included a folder containing 45 photos titled 6 years old, rare. Miller was traveling with his pregnant wife and their 8 children, ages 5 through 12, 7 of whom were foster children, later adopted by the Millers. Yeah, you're going to have some doctors interview those kids. Is there ever a good story about cruise lines, you know? Anyway, the dad, who has fostered at least 20 children over the years, admitted knowing there was child porn on his phone, which he claimed nobody else had access to. Oh, boy, there is no way out here, huh? He was charged with possession and transportation of child pornography. If convicted, he faces up to 30 years in prison. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. But it's just weird. I mean, you knew that was on there, you know. But you know, it's good he was caught because he has quite a collection of children. So that's it for, what was his name? Miller. Yeah, that's it for you, Miller. Jeez. Yee. Ooh. All right, we'll move right along. See, I told you I was going to burn through them. Burning through the news. All right, what's this one? Well, look at it, stupid, and you'll find out. Oh, yeah, this. All righty. Brooklyn midwife accused of colonial violence over women's Bunko Club. Literally genocide. Wow, really? Of course not. But anyway, she's coming up snake eyes. A Brooklyn midwife looking to make new friends has been branded a colonizer for attempting to organize a dice game night in her neighborhood. Online trolls have accused Ellen Christie, 30, of gentrification and appropriating black culture after the Jamaica hospital worker posted online about her monthly Bunko Club dice game in the Bedford Stuyvesant. Why do I always forget? Brooklyn Community Facebook group. Hi all. Seeking women in Bedford Stuyvesant to join a Bunko club. Christy, who is white, wrote in the post, Bunko is a game of rolling dice. Think Yahtzee. No skills required. So, deleting your post and all of the labor that we did to educate is colonial violence. So that tracks. She included, that's one of the responses to her, I guess. She included with the post a selfie with a group of other women sitting on the floor, most of whom appeared to be white. But rather than being met with enthusiastic neighbors, Christy faced a frothing wrath with a pile-on of angry responders who immediately accused her of running a colonizer CeeLo club, referring to a dice game associated with historically black neighborhoods like Bed-Stuy or Y'all plague gentrified CeeLo? One poster wrote. Another wrote, colonizers be colonizing. However, Bunko draws its origins from working-class England in the 18th century, while CeeLo itself is even believed to have been brought to the Americas by Chinese laborers before gaining popularity and associations with inner-city black neighborhoods. Dice has been used for gaming at least as far back as 3000 BC. With historians finding them used in ancient Greece, Rome, Egypt, and China. Oh yeah, total colonizer. She looks just like one. It's unclear when Christie posted her allegedly offensive request on the neighborhood page. But after it amassed over 100 heated responses, it was taken down. That spurred even more vicious responses after someone posted a screenshot of her original post. Deleting your post and all of the labor that we did to educate is colonial violence, so that tracks, wrote Janessa Wilson, who attracted another 100 comments from nasty netizens. The dice game is literally genocide, someone commented. Others pushing their outrage implied her motivations were dangerously nefarious. Posting this in this group was already an act of violence. I would not have a trace of reason to believe that a whites-only club in Bed-Stuy would be a safe and welcoming space to anyone not white. So, hey, does that look like cute and fun to play with? Not if you're white. You keep your hands off of this. And of course, hey, not enough white people are playing Bunko. That proves they're racist. You know, that's how it works. Anyway, but Christy never indicated there were any requirements to join her club, with her post linking to an online forum with questions like, do you live in Bed-Stuy? If no, what neighborhood do you live in? How did you hear about this group? And why do you want to join this club? And though the forum asked for social media links, Christy even added that it was only required if you're comfortable. A likely story, Christy. Wilson, who dedicates her personal Facebook page to calling out white people supposedly behaving badly in her neighborhood, declined to comment. Well, why? Why, Wilson? Come on. This is your crusade. No one who isn't them is safe, she commented on her reposting of Christie's post. A dice game. A dice game. A black man was lynched in Mississippi the same day as a homeless man. No one isn't safe. Isn't them is safe. Yeah. Boy, it's really tough when you play Bunko. Christy, meanwhile, serves as a midwife at a medical center serving the traditionally black neighborhood of Jamaica, Queens. She could not be reached for comment, but yes, probably very dangerous for her to speak, you know. Yeah, considering where we are now. In the years following my graduation from nursing school, advocating for birthing people. You mean mothers, women, and reproductive and sexual health became increasingly important to me, she told a student paper while in school for midwifery. I started to read more about the positive impact nurse midwives can have on prenatal outcomes and experiences of pregnancy, and I became inspired to begin the process of becoming a nurse midwife myself. So there you go. She had an idea of what she wanted to do for a career, and she pursued it. And for fun, she liked to play bunco, and even wanted to share that with other people. And look, she even has the proper buzzwords all done. This probably shocked her to no end. And you see, it does not matter, Christy, um, because you look like one of them, and you will always be one of them. See, that's how that works. I know. Fair? Hell no. But yeah, that's the way it is. So, be safe out there and all that, because, the insanity continues to ensue. A dice game. Bunko is violence. Yeah. Yeah. Well, best of luck and all that. But, and now for the next story. What's this one? Oh yeah. Well, speaking of, customer orders Charlie Kirk's Starbucks drink and finds a disturbing hate message. Employee gets fired. Hey, what's going on here? An Ohio woman ordered Charlie Kirk's go-to Starbucks drink on Sunday evening and was startled to find a hateful message written on the cup. Autumn Perkins, who lives in Middletown, Ohio, visited a Starbucks location inside Kroger and run by Kroger to order the Mint Majesty with 2 honeys. When she received her order, she was shocked to see that an employee had written racist fave drink on the side of the cup. It's time for people to stop this nonsense, Perkins told Fox News Digital. After speaking to the manager, Perkins learned that the employee admitted to writing the hateful message and was subsequently fired. I would agree that people should be fired if they're doing something like this, Perkins said, adding that actions have repercussions. Yeah, all he had to do was your job. Don't scrawl crap like that on their cup. Just sell the drink. Now, look, if she had gotten fired by posting some crap online or something, unless it was full-on death threats or celebrating death and that sort of thing, okay. But if she's just, advocating for whatever she believes in, all that kind of stuff, you probably have a case for a lawsuit or whatever. But here, within the auspices of the business, and you pull that stunt, oh, no. So, wait, this is Autumn Perkins. I'm sorry, Autumn. I thought they had a picture. Jeez. Oh, geez, I'm really sorry. So she's the one who ordered the drink, and they scrawled this crap on it, Look, it's a popular haircut amongst a certain mindset, but you understand, but at least it's not purple or whatever. But again, I apologize. I feel like Charlie stood for respect. We don't have to agree on everything. We can disagree on a lot of things, but we respect each other. Yeah, I know that's sanity speaking, but we can't communicate and grow if we're disrespecting each other. In a comment to Fox News Digital, a spokesperson for Starbucks provided the below statement. Writing this on a cup is unacceptable, and we have clear policies that prohibit negative messages to help preserve a welcoming environment. This Starbucks location is licensed and operated by Kroger. We understand that this associate was terminated by Kroger. As if like, hey, it's not us, it's Kroger. But Kroger terminated it, because you would have done the same thing. Let's say she just smeared some other crap on there, had nothing to do with politics or whatever. It would still be a fireable offense, So, yeah, they really had no other choice. Kroger confirmed the firing in an email on Monday to Fox News Digital. This behavior does not reflect Kroger's values, the representative said. Perkins added that she often visits Starbucks when traveling because it's readily available, but said she no longer plans to do so. I don't intend to spend another penny at Starbucks, and as far as I'm concerned, neither will my children or anybody else in my family who will listen to me. Well, I mean, look, they responded and got rid of the idiot employee who is responsible for this act. So, I mean, if they had, backed her up and everything, we don't want these kind of customers or something like that. But, her choice. But that's the deal. They said, yeah, we don't want that kind of crap going on in our businesses. So, but again, it's her choice. But yeah. Hey, I thought you guys were against cancel culture. No, there's clear policies at these businesses, and you're not excused for idiocy. So there you go. Plus, I don't know, how stupid are you? You might not be able to pour the coffee accurately, or you might be dumb enough to get someone hurt. Possibly even yourself, and then, you're going to expect us to pay for it. You know the deal. What the hell is all this? This stuff pops into my screen. All right. What's next for Nailsin News? Why, it's this. Oh, boy. Sometimes it gets hard and, you're compelled to want to do something, but there can be unforeseen consequences. Man who allegedly jumped from building in suicide attempt killed woman underneath and now faces charges. Oh, jeez. A man in Italy faces manslaughter charges. That's appropriate because that's pretty much what it is. After he allegedly jumped from a building in a suicide attempt and fatally struck a woman below. The victim, who has been identified by local media as 83-year-old Francesca Mano. Emergency services responded to a residence in Milan, Italy on Sunday, September 14th, where they pronounced Mano dead. The investigation revealed Mano died when a 70-year-old man who lived in her building jumped from his balcony in an apparent attempt, to die by suicide. The man jumped from the 4th floor into the courtyard where Mano was walking. Could he have at least... Well, of course, he's 70. Maybe he had bad vision. I don't know. To say, hey, like 4, get out of the way. But no, he just... I guess if he took the time to think about it, he would have said, what am I doing? I don't know. So he decided, that's it, I'm doing it. And he just ran off the balcony, While it was initially thought to be a double suicide by a couple, it soon emerged that Mano was not connected to the suspect who survived the incident. The man is not being named in Italian media. He was hospitalized with multiple leg fractures. I don't understand why. Maybe that's how they do it, but a lot of times it's the victim's name you don't get till later or something. Anyway, local authorities have charged the suspect with manslaughter. Mano lived in the building with her husband, according to a woman who knew her for 5 decades. Mano seldom left the house. Oh, no. Oh, that poor lady said, you know what? I'm going to go outside and take a walk and enjoy the outdoors. And then, jeez. She was struck head on. Yeah, the impact was extremely violent. Our autopsy will be conducted in the next few days. Well, I think we know the cause. Boy, if someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges, emotional distress, substance use problems, or just needs to talk, call or text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org 24/7. And who knows, you may save more than one life. Yeah. Because, geez Louise. And they'll talk about that, doing yourself in can be categorized as quite the selfish act in some cases. Show some concern for others. But he didn't. Of course, again, really old. Might not be all that right in the head and stuff like that. I mean, he shattered his leg, so I don't know how much he'll walk, but he might not get too bad of a sentence here because it's just a sad, sorry story. I don't want that. But what about elsewhere? Decomposing body found in Singer DeForvid's abandoned Tesla, ID'd as Celeste Rivas, 15, who had been missing over a year. The remains found inside the trunk of an abandoned Tesla registered to Singer DeForvid it's D4VD, has been identified as a 15-year-old girl who's been missing for over a year. The decomposing body was found wrapped inside a bag stuffed in the electric vehicle that was impounded at a Los Angeles tow yard on September 8th after workers reported smelling a foul odor. So this is the poor girl. There's the car. There's DeForvid. The girl again, missing. Well, the remains have since been, identified as Celeste Hernandez was last seen leaving her home in Lakeshore, about 69 miles southeast of Los Angeles, at 9 p.m. on April 5th, 2024. The teenager, who was 13 years old when she went missing, was 13. So I guess her birthday was a little after that, and then she was 14, and now she would be 15. Anyway, was last seen wearing gray pants, a black sweater, a hat, and Hello Kitty sandals. Hernandez's mother told TMZ, who first reported the victim's identity, that her daughter had a boyfriend named David. Singer DeForvid. So he just thinks it's like a cute thing to have the number 4 replace the letter A, but nothing replaced the I. So DeForvid, I don't know. Anyway, Singer DeForvid 20 was born David Anthony Burke. Burke has not been charged in connection with Hernandez's death and is cooperating with investigators. So not charged yet. Plus, at the time she went missing, she was 13. He's 20. I mean, last year he would have been 19. Investigators have not confirmed the mother's claims. Okay, so that she was dating someone, David, but gee, what are the odds? Anyway, representatives for Burke did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. Eventually they're going to have to, Distinctive tattoo. The placebo effect singer, was on a world tour when authorities uncovered the remains in his Tesla, which had Texas license plates and was towed from an area in Hollywood Hills. The victim's mother also told the outlet that she believed the remains were that of her daughters because of her distinctive tattoo. Los Angeles police previously revealed that the female victim had a tattoo on her finger that read, "Shh." That's an S with three H's following it, which Hernandez's mother told TMZ was similar to her daughter's. Photo of Burke showed that he also has a tattoo on his right index finger that reads, "Shh." Several artists, including Rihanna, Lindsay Lohan, Lily Allen, also have similar tattoos on their fingers with the same wording. So it's quite the trend, huh? The musicians have not been accused of any wrongdoing. Yeah, well, they're not suspects in this case. Only one possible person of interest, At the time, investigators described the remains as that of a woman with wavy hair and weighed about 70 pounds. The victim was wearing black leggings, a tube top, stud earrings, and a W-shaped bracelet when she was discovered in the Tesla. A cause of death has not been determined. Investigators said the remains were not intact. Burke burst onto the music scene in 2022 with hit TikTok songs "Here With Me" and "Romantic Homicide." The songs earned him nominations at the 2023 Stream Awards and the 14th Hollywood Music in Media Awards. Well, he was expected to perform in Seattle on Thursday as part of his Withered 2025 World Tour, but has since canceled the scheduled appearance, according to TMZ. Now, there they are towing the car. It's unclear why Burke pulled the plug on the performance. Is it? You can't even make a guess, maybe? Yeah. Oh, look, he's got little cartoon girls on his shirt with their tongues out. I wonder why they had their tongues out. Well, that's it for that story. What do you think? I mean, of course, you got to figure out, hey, man, why'd you abandon your car that it ended up being impounded? And then somebody like, something don't smell right. And there's a dead body in it. Just mere coincidence, I suppose, Somebody goes to the impound yard, so this is a good place to dispose of a body. So what is the likelihood he has nothing to do with it? Yeah, it's not good, is it? Well, but of course, what's the chain of custody of the car once they figure that out? But of course, if he says, hey, someone stole it. Well, was it reported stolen? So far, we're not hearing anything like that. So, yeah, it don't look good for the forward. So, but of course, sad story about the poor girl. And again, the age gap there. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how that pans out eventually, Yeah. Oh, yes. Come here. Jeez. Oh, well, here's something about chocolate bars. That ought to be something. Chocolate bar sold at smoke shop to blame for alleged double murder. Wow. Who knew? A South Carolina man accused of killing 2 people will remain behind bars, despite his defense attorney saying that drug-laced candy is to blame for the alleged crime. Zachary Elias, 28, faced several charges, including 2 counts of murder in connection with the December 2024 shooting at Buddy Man's Smoke Shop in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Blah, blah, blah. Judge denied bail for Elias for a second time after his defense attorneys argued for their client was not to blame for his alleged actions, that the psychedelic chocolate he bought at the store earlier that day was the real culprit. So you need to track down that chocolate bar, unless he consumed the whole thing, and then oof. The judge sided with prosecutors and surviving family members of the people Elias allegedly killed and ordered him to remain in jail until trial. According to Elias's defense attorneys, Alexander Benevento, Elias did not realize that the drug-laced chocolate bar he bought from Buddy Man's on the day of the alleged shooting would affect him so severely. The chocolate bar, which cost $32, was advertised as a wavy wafer chocolate bar, and Elias was reportedly unaware that it contained the illegal drug psilocin. Well, it's new to me. Maybe someone could. Never mind. That ingredient was reportedly not listed on the bar's packaging. Well, I guess not if it's illegal. Benevento told Judge Bill McKinnon, "We're talking about a chocolate bar, Your Honor. We're talking about candy." Later adding, "The danger to the community is that these products, these chocolates, are allowed to be sold at all." Well, all right, okay, but we're really talking about murder. Your Honor, for God's sakes, when are we going to address candy? Elias allegedly had both psilocin, which is a chemical found in hallucinogenic mushrooms. Okay, mushroom. And THC in his system the day of the shooting. Representing the state, York County prosecutor Kevin Brackett said that the fact that Elias knowingly spent $32 on a chocolate bar means he was not merely looking for a snack. He was allegedly looking to alter his outlook on reality. Brackett also said the court told the court that Elias was a regular customer of Buddy Man's, that he received a discount for his purchases. Oh, wow. So he probably got it for less than $32. According to Brackett, Elias had spent $180 at Buddy Man's on drug-laced chocolate products and THC gummies the day of the shooting. Oh, boy. So it was a lot more than just one $32 chocolate bar. And had eaten a similar chocolate bar earlier the same week. Well, did he kill anybody? I mean, you might want to look into unsolved missing persons and murders there, Brackett told McKinnon this was an intentional act on his part with tragic consequences. All right, this is one of my peeves, Tragedies are like car accidents, stuff like that. A tornado comes through and, kills people, destroys the town, whatever. This is murder, I mean, if you're going to buy the story that he didn't realize the $32 chocolate bar from the smoke shop didn't have psychedelic drug properties in it, then oh no, it affected me and turned me into a killer, even though how many people are eating these candy bars and none of that happened, that kind of thing, then okay, it's some sort of tragedy. But a murder is not really a tragedy when it's murder. It's a deliberate act. Tragedies are often things that no matter what you did or do, you couldn't avoid. Sorry. I always go off on that. Video of the shooting. Oh, wow. That was played in court reportedly showed Elias entering the store with an assault rifle as he shouted, "Where's the mushroom man?" Okay. He then allegedly opened fire on everyone inside the store, including a store clerk, 27-year-old Celsi Johnson, and 49-year-old Imad Tabit Sadala, a customer who both died of gunshot wounds. Sadala was there with his wife, who was also wounded in the gunfire. Elias can also be heard on the video proclaiming, "I'm Jesus Christ." He isn't, by the way. "They wrote the book about me." They didn't. He did not speak during his court appearance. Well, it's just as well, he's going to start, screaming for the Mushroom Man. Benevento argued that Elias was driven by a drug-induced psychosis, and it was not malicious intent that caused her client to come back to Buddy Man's with a fire. He went to Buddy Man's? I thought this was like a convenience store he went to. Open fire, including I guess it was at Buddy Man's. All right. Not a malicious act. It didn't cause the client to go back to Buddy Man's with a firearm, but that it was that psychosis that took him back to the store. He was asking for Mushroom Man. Seems like he wanted more chocolate bars, maybe. Anyway, McKinnon did not give the defense the benefit of the doubt. You're kidding. After hearing from both sides, he told the court, "If this were alcohol and somebody who was a lightweight drinker and drank a beer or two occasionally and then drank a whole bottle of vodka and killed 2 people and wounded a 3rd, that would not make me think they were less dangerous." The judge added, "The defendant voluntarily ingested a product which describes itself as magic mushroom chocolate." Well, there we go. I wasn't aware of that entirely, but you're at the smoke shop and everything. So he knew exactly what he was getting into. But I didn't know it would have this effect on me, even though you've been munching out on this crap for a while. Elias is charged with 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and several weapons possession charges. After the judge's ruling, Elias will remain in custody at York County Jail without bond. Well, that's for the best. I guess he won't be visited by Mushroom Man while he's locked up, He'll be sitting there screaming, But where is the Mushroom Man? You ate him, and you pooed him into the potty. Now you're all alone, Elias. Now you're all alone. Uh-oh. Don't pay $32 for the Mushroom Man, the Mushroom Man, the Mushroom Man. Don't pay $32 for the Mushroom Man. Oopsie doodly doo. Man accused of violently kicking, screaming, and spitting blood at deputies during outburst at liquor store. Oh. Okay. A New York man stands accused of screaming at an employee, jumping on a counter, kicking items, and assaulting deputies after a clerk refused to sell him more alcohol at a Florida liquor store. You piece of crap. You don't treat the clerks like that. It's the part-time job I have, Oh, yeah, they'll raise hell and stuff. Never quite like that in my case, but they get all pissed off, But you can't sell them when they're intoxicated because then it's on you, And, that's your part of it. Well, the county sheriff's office responded to Sharp's Discount Liquors on September 3rd to a report of a disturbance. Allegedly, a customer armed with a knife stood on top of the counter and began spitting. Oh, man. And throwing glass bottles. Jeez Louise, you piece of crap. Responding deputies discovered the man, 38-year-old Jeffrey Kimmel. No, not Jimmy, Jeffrey. J. Kimmel, still on the counter, and they physically removed him due to his erratic state. The sheriff's office brought Kimmel outside and said his hands were still bleeding from the outburst. Kimmel, allegedly resisted authorities by violently kicking, screaming, and spitting. The sheriff's office noted that Kimmel was actively spitting blood, and a spit mask had to be placed over his head. Well, no doubt. A store employee reportedly told officials that Kimmel first went into the store and bought 4 liquor shots and left. Allegedly, he came back. Not allegedly, he did. But the clerk refused to sell him more alcohol. The clerk alleged that Kimmel began screaming at her, jumped onto the counter, and started kicking items off the counter. The store employee and other customers reportedly locked themselves in a back room to protect themselves. Oh, man. Oh, geez. Kimmel allegedly caused over $20,000 in damage during the incident. He doesn't have the scratch, so yeah. Kimmel was arrested and faces multiple charges, including breach of peace, burglary, burglary with assault or battery, 8 accounts of battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer with violence, and criminal mischief. Oh, well, yeah. Over $1,000. He was booked over one. Okay. He was booked into the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility and remains held on $236,000 bond. The sheriff's office noted that Kimmel has a criminal history. Shocking. A criminal history of burglary, driving under the influence, and possession of stolen property. Yeah. In a statement, Sheriff Rick Staley said, "This guy must have really wanted another drink." Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. But he found out he's not in New York. And we won't tolerate behavior like this in Florida. Hell no. That's a good point. In New York, he'd already be out. Yeah. Should have stayed in New York, Kimmel. Should have stayed in New York. Because, I don't know. They feel sorry for you there or whatever. But then again, maybe in his case. But whatever, he moved to Florida and, he did the old FAFO, yeah. Yeah. All right, that's it for that, Kimmel. No relation, of course, I'm sure. No. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Disabled man taken in by church couple is beaten, strangled to death. What? Strangled to death with frying pan? You mean he? Okay, yeah. Well, okay. Disabled man taken in by church couple is beaten, strangled to death with frying pan and dog leash. There you go. Oof. A Virginia woman and her husband are headed to prison for beating a man with a frying pan and choking him to death with a dog leash because he wouldn't fork over his disability check to pay for living expenses. Well, couldn't you just kick him out? I mean, Christy Marie Lynch, 45, was found guilty last week of first-degree murder in the death of 45-year-old Jose Marino at their Norfolk home. James Christian Lynch pled guilty to second-degree murder earlier this year and was sentenced to 25 years behind bars. Prosecutors said the defendants met Marino at their church in 2022 and invited him to live at their apartment because he had nowhere to go. Marino suffered from a physical disability that required him to use a walker. As part of living with them, the Lynches required Marino to pay them from his disability check. James Lynch admitted to cops that he and his wife physically punished him on several occasions because he didn't pay them, did not complete household chores, and spoke Spanish around them. Good Lord. In the days leading up to the murder, James Lynch beat the victim with a frying pan, bashing in his head. He refused to take Marino to the hospital because he didn't want to be arrested. They also hit him with a baseball bat and strangled him with a belt and a dog leash. So you start with a frying pan, then decided, let's see what the bat can do. Then a belt, then, hey, what about the dog leash? Prosecutors believe Marino likely died on August 9th, 2023. But the Lynches didn't report the death until 2 days later, after speaking with a pastor. See, they're still really church-going folks, who told them to call 911. Can you imagine him listening to this? Hey, what do? We beat him to death. Yeah, you need to call 911. Norfolk police responded to their apartment where cops found Marino's naked body. He was covered in bruises and cuts and had ligature marks on his neck. An autopsy determined he died from a combination of strangulation and blunt force trauma. Christy Lynch told police that Marino had attacked her that day and sexually assaulted her. Okay. She then challenged her husband to man up, grow a set, and go take care of your boy. James Lynch claimed that when he attacked Marino, the victim began to kick him and fight him off. Imagine that. You tried to kill somebody and they fight back. Marino was possessed with a demon-like strength and would not be subdued, James Lynch. The man required a walker, he was receiving disability check. Despite the victim being clearly a foot shorter and more than 150 pounds lighter than James Lynch. Cops initially charged the Lynches with second-degree murder until they were indicted for first-degree murder. Yeah. The word shocking has been overused, but the suffering that the Lynches, inflicted on Mr. Marino, a disabled man they claim to have been helping and who had nowhere to go, is, well, truly shocking, said attorney Raman Fatahi. Is it possible to kill another person in an instant using a gun, but to beat and strangle another person to death takes serious physical exertion and the sustained determination to inflict pain and to kill? Yeah. Yes. These people are monsters. They should have got the death penalty. And they tortured this man to death. Anyway, friends of Marino took to Facebook to mourn his death, describing him as a kind soul and a happy person. This is absolutely disgusting, one friend wrote. I am sick to my stomach learning about this. Jose was such a special part of our church family. Another friend commented, I can't shake this since I heard. He did not deserve anything like this at all. He was always smiling. Christy Lynch is scheduled to be sentenced on January 16th, 2026. Yeah, well, the husband is the one who did the beating and stuff at her urging and all that. And he didn't get death, so she'll probably get the same. What did he get? 25 years? Yeah, that's not enough. This is a death penalty case. And whatever reason, they didn't do it. As far as the claims for the sexual assault has supposedly sparked this by this, disabled man against the guy's wife. I'm going with no, that didn't happen. Nope. 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 All right. Oh boy, this one hits home again. Another convenience store attack. Oh, this really grinds my gears. Man tried to gouge out a store clerk's eyes because he was upset about the price of gas. Yeah, this really hits home since I'm a part-time gas station, A Mississippi man tried to gouge the eyes out of a truck stop clerk because he was upset about the price of gas. Charlie Terrell Jones, 40, has been charged with armed robbery at the 3555 truck stop on Highway 35 in Vaden, a town about 80 miles north of Jackson. A clerk was inside his store when a man came in and argued with him about the price of gas. As the argument continued, according to the employee, the suspect began to beat the clerk severely and even attempted to gouge out the clerk's eyes. The suspect also is accused of hitting the worker on the back of the head. But that wasn't the end of things. The assailant allegedly went back to his vehicle, returned with a gun, and demanded that the clerk give him the money in the register. The clerk is said to have acquiesced, and the clerk left the truck stop with the money. And the suspect left. Sorry. Yes. The suspect left the truck stop with the money. When first responders and deputies arrived, they found the clerk badly beaten. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he was treated for his injuries, including having stitches put on the back of his head. The alleged victim gave his account to investigators of what happened and helped them develop a suspect, Jones. He was known for having a violent criminal background and was released on parole just 7 months before, after serving over 20 years for various violent crimes, including sexual battery and 2 counts of kidnapping. But I guess he did his 20 years, and out he goes. And what does he do? Deputies located Jones and set up surveillance while they secured a warrant for his arrest. Other agencies, including the U.S. Marshal Service, were called in for help. But before officials could arrest him, Jones had left the area. Law enforcement reportedly spotted him heading south on Highway 35 toward Kosciuszko, and a roadblock was set up. It appears that Jones was not alone, and eventually the suspect and his driver were forced to stop at the roadblock, and the suspect was taken into custody without incident. Jones was placed into the Carroll County Regional Correctional Facility on the armed robbery charge. The sheriff's office said days later the additional charges of possession of a weapon by a felon and failure to register as a sex offender were expected. I am grateful to the Lord that this incident was resolved without any further violence or injury, Carroll County Sheriff Clint Walker said. Jones is a threat to society, and I am glad that he has been removed from our streets. Again, the quick and dedicated investigation by our deputies and the cooperation between law enforcement agencies involved made all the difference in the resolution of this case. Yeah. Tried to gouge his eyes out over the price of gas and then decided to rob him. You could have just robbed him from the get-go, because that's obviously what you were up to. What did he think? The gas price is too high. Now I'm justified in robbing you. By the way, the clerk doesn't have anything to do with the price of gas. Idiot. But at least sounds like the guy's going to be okay. He still has his eyes in his head. Hopefully they work okay. And, man, what an ordeal, you know. But hey, he served his time. He did the 20 years. Oh, wait, I got to put this up here. Put it down. Man kept several people captive in his basement over a 10-year time span to control their eating habits, bathroom access, and finances. Huh. A South Carolina man is behind bars for keeping 4 people captive in his basement for years. Donnie Ray Birchfield Jr., 35, stands accused of myriad crimes, including 4 counts of false imprisonment, 4 counts of exploitation of a vulnerable adult, 2 counts of abuse of a vulnerable adult, 2 counts of domestic violence, and 4 counts of financial fraud. Warrants in the case were recently released. This is a sick individual right there, one of the defendant's neighbors told Charlotte. Well, yes, he's a sick person to do something like that. The horrific allegations concern a residence on Churchill Drive in Lancaster, a small town located a few miles due south of the border with their similarly named northern neighboring state. The investigation began on July 25th after Lancaster police were called in response to an unattended death, according to a warrant obtained by news outlets. By August 1st, Birchfield was under arrest. One of the alleged captives died. She was married, and the defendant was the sole caregiver to her and her husband. Authorities are unclear how Birchfield knew the couple. Birchfield is also alleged to have denied the husband access to sustenance and medical necessities. The 2 other victims were women with whom the defendant was romantically involved. One woman had been living with Birchfield since September 2024. The other woman had been living in the house since 2015. Birchfield is said to have controlled the victims' movement, only allowing them out of the basement when he allowed them. The level of control extended to when the victims ate and used the bathroom. Each victim's cell phone was controlled by the defendant in order to keep them from calling for help. And at least one of Birchfield's so-called romantic partners was regularly strangled. These routine punishments caused her to fear for her life. Yeah. According to the woman's apparent fear was a comment the defendant allegedly made about prior experience with disposing of a human body. No doubt. Well, this is one of those stories where they need to look into this guy's background and in conjunction with unsolved cases of murder victims and or missing persons. Birchfield also committed extensive financial crimes against the couple in his care. This scheme involved years of using the couple's credit and debit cards to pay for at least $2,000 in online Walmart purchases dating back to 2021. At least 32 such purchases were made solely for the listed suspect's use and not for the victim. Okay. This year, however, the spending apparently ramped up. In the 8 months of 2025, Birchfield allegedly spent in excess of $11,800 from the couple's bank account to pay off his own debts. Officers say the investigation is ongoing and could lead to additional charges. Yeah, especially when you look into other missing people and murder victims that haven't been solved. Because, well, yeah. Birchfield is being detained without bail. You don't say. I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. And also, in case it wasn't obvious, if your boyfriend keeps you locked up in a basement and regularly strangles you, yes, you should be absolutely in fear for your life. Plus, there was the other people, these old people there. Yeah, that's part of my job. And they still don't know how the hell he got custody of these people. I mean, did he? Nah, they just moved in, Jeez. Ooh. Video vigilante star in To Catch a Case. All right. A group of 5 young Florida men is facing an assortment of criminal charges for battering and falsely imprisoning a man who they targeted in a To Catch a Predator style sting that was recorded and uploaded to a website for public viewing for profit. As alleged in arrest affidavits, the video vigilantism occurred around 2 a.m. Friday at home in Largo, a city in the Tampa Bay area. The victim arrived at the residence expecting to meet a minor for a sexual encounter. All right. A slap on the wrist at best for these idiots, but yeah, this guy's already a piece of crap. The man apparently had been lured to the short-term rental property via a dating app or some other fraudulent online enticement. Well, you don't know. Didn't you track that down? After arriving at the residence, the victim was forced onto a couch while being yelled at to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. One of the assailants placed the victim in a near naked chokehold, while others repeatedly threatened him and warned of police intervention. While pinning the victim down, the defendant stood in a circle around the man and physically attacked him while he was trapped and unable to leave, and was begging and pleading for the attack to stop. One of the men, Matthew Quayle, forcibly shaved the head of the victim against his will for, humiliation purposes. The group of attackers repeatedly threatened the victim and coerced him into doing acts of humiliation, which are not further described in court documents. The accused man recorded the incident and planned to profit monetarily from the video, which was uploaded to a website for public viewing for profit without the victim's consent. The affidavits do not identify the website or whether the attack was live streamed. In addition to Quayle, the September 12th arrest netted Roland Ralsage, 20, Erald Orva, 18, Dylan Gentry, 19, and Andrew Issa, 19. Each man faces a felony false imprisonment charge, while some also have been hit with battery and or robbery counts. You're going to have to get them for torture here. Issa, whatever, was charged with child neglect, a felony for bringing a juvenile to the site of the sting, which cops described as an area with an unknown subject believed to potentially be a sexual offender. The minor involved was a suspect and was arrested. What the hell? Issa is identified in court records as a caregiver to the juvenile who was visible in the uploaded video. The defendants were each released on bond from the county jail, and the judge ordered them to have no contact with the victim. Well, yeah. Was the victim arrested for seeking sex with a minor, though? I mean, that's... what a bunch of idiots. I mean, you did this, and you managed to turn this predator into a victim when you pretty much caught him soliciting or, attempting to solicit a minor. And then you went full-blown, Pulp Fiction, basement dungeon, bring out the gimp. Because, they did other things that aren't mentioned. He was found naked. So, this is one of those scenarios where quite possibly there's no one good here, And was the child the guy brought to the scene supposed to be the bait for this creep? Yeah, you can't do that. Does this really have to be spelled out for people? Gee, what a horrible list of stories. So we got to leave on a light note. Or end. I'll get to your chats in a bit. But, well, it's not exactly gold, but definitely not such a beautiful thing. A cameraman touring with Benson Boone was arrested for relieving himself on about $700 worth of clothing at a beachside shop in Florida. Investigators say Tyler Capehart, 39, entered the surf-style shop in Clearwater and walked up to the retailer's second floor. Workers then observed Capehart via CCTV standing between racks of clothing for an extended period of time. After Capehart walked away from the merchandise, a manager observed the clothing and floor to be covered in urine. The clothing is unable to be sold. Right. The total value of property damaged was $689.30. When subsequently confronted by police, Capehart, who appeared intoxicated, reportedly advised he consumed alcohol and smoked marijuana. As for allegedly relieving himself in the store, Capehart advised he did not have any recollection of urinating on the clothing/floor inside surf style. Capehart was busted for criminal mischief and disorderly intoxication, misdemeanors for which he was booked into the county jail. After posting $650 bond, the Georgia resident was released from custody a day before Boone's American Heart World Tour stops at Tampa's Benchmark International Arena. While arrest reports list Capehart's employer as Benson Boone, it appears that he works as a camera operator for the firm responsible for the in-concert video that appears on screens behind the backflip-prone performer. Capehart's name appears in the credits that roll at the conclusion of Boone's performance. Well, I'm sure they'll fix that soon. He probably won't get there. Well, he didn't get any of it in his hair, apparently. Or did he? But there you go. See? Sure, it's weird and nasty and all that. But it's not like the other stories. So there you go. A shower at surf style. That's all I got. All right. Let me switch to the super tip layer. Just in case. Okay, there's no super tips. All right. Joe Lamont, who is the hottie on the mantle? Was that the first story? Crap, I don't remember. Wasn't that like you mean his daughter? Well, yeah, that was his daughter. I don't know. It remains a mystery. Nodak looked like she used an Indiana Jones whip on his face. Something. Joe Lamont looks like he hit her, not the type of assault I envisioned. Joe Lamont, he needed to get caught. Well, he was. A. Thompson, T-minus 18 hours until Alien Earth finale. Yeah. I thought there were 10 episodes. They needed 10 episodes, really, because I don't think they're going to resolve this satisfactorily. A. Thompson, will the plant finally get a kill? Yeah, probably not. I don't know. Maybe at the last end, but I'm losing hope for it. No men allowed at the Bungo party either. Yeah, well, it doesn't work the other way, you know. Joe Lamont, Kimmel Show to be replaced by live genocidal dice game. Hey, Thompson, as lame as it was, Leno was really the best late night host. Conan was the best late night host. Conan had his points, but I didn't think he was better than Leno. Joe Lamont, I am going to order a Venti Mint Majesty at my Koreatown Starbucks tomorrow with 2 kimchis. Well, all right then. Nodak, man, it's raining cats and Italians out. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Joe Lamont, the 83-year-old dropped him while babysitting him in 1955. He almost died. It was average, pure, and simple. The 83-year-old dropped him? Oh, so he's getting his revenge. A. Thompson, Teslas must have great air condition? Oh, yeah. You think he kept it running for it? And then it ran out, Maybe so. I don't know. Hey, Thompson, what's up with all these women Doug is showing us? Why are they tilting their heads like confused Labrador retrievers? Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Thompson, Sugar Doug is Doug's street name. Oh, Sugar Doug. Yeah. Let's see. That would be Shug for Doug's, something like that. Thompson, sugar-free Doug. Yeah, for the most part. Nodak, this could be the beginning of the finger killer. Oh, no. Joel Lamont, Mr Nailsin News. It is. Hey, Thompson, you need numbers to make the name stand out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Joel Lamont, laced bar, Twinkie defense 2.0. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, this is the Twinkie defense. At least this chocolate bar is actually laced with them. He was just going for your average Twinkie. He's like, oh, it made me murder people. Or that guy. Damn it. Why? Damn it. He was that gay politician, but I can't remember. They did a whole movie about him and everything, but I'm blanking on the name. Anyway, A. Thompson, the Ambien defense works. Does it? A. Thompson, maybe it was an imported chocolate bar. Those Mr. Beast bars are around $30 here. That's ridiculous. He paid $32 for a bar and didn't suspect it contained anything but chocolate. Now he knew. He's full of crap and other stuff. A. Thompson, they should require the people selling that trash to babysit the users. Well, depending on the laws there, they're probably in some amount of liability or trouble. Anyway, Susan Dolan, hail everybody. Hi, Susan, if you're still here. But thanks for watching. Joe Lamont, I am upset my 99-cent Reese's cup didn't contain a burrito. Well, go look for the burrito, man. Joe Lamont says hi to Susan. Everybody says hi, Susan. Hey, Thompson, the Ambien defense works for real. You can murder a stranger and walk free. I think they get the prescribing physician in civil court. The malpractice covers it. Jeez Louise, he should have took an Ambien then. Susan Dolan, it's always best to keep your mouth shut than to open it and show everyone what an idiot you are when you are an idiot. Well, yeah, but they're idiots. They don't know any better. Hey, Thompson, was it Chad Zumach? The mushroom man guy or mushroom. Hey, Thompson, Doug, sell them rubbing alcohol. We do have rubbing alcohol. That's right. Hey, Thompson, damn, 4 shots got him dancing on the counter. Apparently. Joel Lamont, that Kimmel family. Yeah. Yeah. Something going on there. Joel Lamont, strangled with a frying pan. That's a feat. Yes, I know. Just bad. Yes. They strangled him with a frying pan. But those people, yeah, come on. That's an obvious death penalty case. What the hell? Anyway, A. Thompson, an Asian woman with a wok could win MMA championship. Probably. Joe Lamont, pan, bat, belt, leash. Guy was a regular Rasputin. Yeah. Susan Nolan Douglas, please tell me these tards got life without parole. The ones who tortured the disabled man? No. The guy who actually killed him got 25 years. That, which, with good behavior, could probably be out in 20, maybe 18. The wife hasn't been sentenced yet. She might get the same sentence, but should have been at least life without parole. Should have been death penalty because they tortured a man to death. Joe Lamont, wasn't there an eye gouging story a few days back on a few days? It's possible, and I just don't remember it. But seems like, well, maybe it was something that this one really popped out to my eyes because, gas station clerk. Nodak, well, everyone knows the gas station clerks are the ones that set the price of gas. Seems like a rational response. Damn it! Stop spreading that scurrilous lies. Nodak, oh, the clerks don't? My mistake. Yeah. See, that's what happened when they arrested the guy. Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry. Joe Lamont, he wasn't always bad. 2 counts of kidnapping, but only 1 count of sexual battery. So he didn't sexually assault one of the kidnapped victims. Yeah, okay. All right. Maybe he gets a little, that's a bit of somewhat mitigation. Your Honor, he could have done that, but he didn't. Susan Dolan, you can call corporate about gas prices, and after they get done laughing at you, they'll explain they'll make prices whatever they want it to be. Yeah. So gouging out the clerk's eyes won't lower the price of gas. It won't. Joe Lamont, only allowing when he allowed. Yes. Joe Lamont, he is the allower. They, the allowees. Afraid so. Susan Dolan, padded cell with the key to the door conveniently lost. Yeah. He won't even get that. Joe Lamont, he got ROM, then his allowance. He got ROM, then his allowance. You mean room, then his allowance? He got ROM, then his allowance. Well, they did steal his allowance. Susan Dolan, I meant to say that this guy should be locked away. Oh, yeah. Oh, this nut who had all these torture victims. One of them did die. Death penalty for this one, too. Joe Lamont, we're caught in a basement. We can't get out because we have non-allowed minds, baby. Susan Dolan, TikTokers, right? Yeah. Susan Dolan couldn't find the men's room, huh? Yes. Damn surf style. Maybe what if that was... No, it's out of order or something. Oh, okay. So then he goes over to their clothes and pisses all over it. But hey, I just don't have the recollection. No, that Harvey Milk. That's right. I knew it was an odd name, but yeah, Harvey Milk. And didn't Sean Penn do the movie? Something like that. Anyway, but yeah, the guy who killed him said, well, I ate a Twinkie and it drove me crazy. And so I just had to kill this guy. I'm like, oh, well, let's see. Survey says, oh, well, that's not going to work. That's too bad for you. That's too bad for you. So there you go. I think we learned a lot today. Don't exploit disabled people and beat them with frying pans and strangle them with belts and dog leashes. Don't beat up your pot addicted daughter. Just don't torture people in general. Don't keep them locked in your basement and all that. And finally, don't piss all over the clothes. at Surf Style. How are they supposed to sell those now? Yeah. Plus, this idiot's out of a job now, you know? Geez, almost getting the hiccups here. I guess that's the sign it's time to end the show. All good things, you know? Yeah. But don't worry, we'll do it again. Oh, there's more stories. There are. But I'll get to them. This was a lot. So there you go. You're all caught up for the moment. For Nailsin News. And then, we'll go back and do some more on a future show. Nodex says, I learned not to pee on clothes and to look before you leave. Good point there, too. Yes. Couldn't you have been? Again, he might have had bad vision, but still. Could have at least said, look out below. Then again, maybe she's hard of hearing. I don't know. Just don't do that stuff. How about that? I would think. And I do. That's why I said it. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you and talk to you next time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Killers, killing it, killing it, killing it, killing it. Nailsin News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News.